Colin Kaepernick, of course, took a knee last year in the NFL to protest police brutality. And guess what happened to Michael Bennett, star of the Seattle Seahawks? He's accusing the Las Vegas police of racially motivated excessive force during an arrest on the night of the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight, which took place on Saturday, August 26th. Now, this is a video obtained by TMZ Sports. You can hear Bennett explaining to the officer that he didn't do anything wrong.
I wasn't doing nothing, man. You ain't asked me a question. I was here with my friends. They told us to get out. Everybody ran. Did you ask me a question, sir? Okay, man. Put them together.
And the arrest took place after gunshots were fired at a nearby club and hundreds of people began to run. In a statement released on Bennett's Twitter page, he says the officer's excessive use of force was unbearable. I felt helpless as I lay there on the ground, handcuffed, facing the real-life threat of being killed. All I could think of was I'm going to die for no other reason than I am black and my skin color is somehow a threat. Late yesterday evening, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department had a news conference to announce their investigation into the incident. Here's Undersheriff Kevin McMahill of the Las Vegas Police Department.
As you can imagine, it takes a significant amount of effort and time to review all of the video and available evidence. If the investigation reveals that any policies or training were violated, those officers will be held accountable. Many of the folks today have called this an incident of bias-based policing. Police officers focus solely on the race of an individual that they are going to stop. I can tell you, as I stand here today, I see no evidence of that. I see no evidence that race played any role in this incident.
Except one problem. We now know from the police officers, and this was a tweet that I sent out earlier this morning from a reporter out of Seattle. The police officer who arrested Bennett failed to turn on his body camera. He didn't turn it on. So we don't have the video of the officer from the moment this thing began in terms of how he went after Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett is working with Color of Change on this particular issue to address this issue. And so right now I want to talk to a representative of colorofchange.org about this very issue. He is the Criminal Justice Director for Color of Change, Scott Roberts. Scott, so good to see you. So this is, I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at this, okay, this is what I keep saying. If a police officer doesn't turn on their dash cam on the body camera, they should be fired.
Absolutely. You know, we spent millions of dollars in the wake of Ferguson. We were told this is the answer, right? We need body cameras. This will give us more transparency, more accountability for police officers. But time after time, we see all of these ways in which departments or individual officers obstruct that whole process, right? The state of North Carolina passing a law that basically makes it required for a judge to release the camera over and over again. The officers conveniently not having the cameras on. I think we should say that the department claims he did not turn his camera on, because we really don't know what's happened in almost 2 weeks since then. There could have been tampering. We've seen that in multiple cities with body cameras. So I think we got to, ask a question around this investment in body cameras and if it's really providing transparency or if it's providing more evidence for officers.
Well, but here's the deal. I mean, first, as far as I'm concerned with body cameras, that if you turn it on and it records, it actually can exonerate a police officer against somebody's allegation of excessive force, or it can actually prove it. The issue that I have here is, again, trying to understand if shots are fired. Okay, I understand the natural reaction of anybody is that when shots are fired, I'm not sticking around.
Right.
So if people are taking off, I want to know, why did the cop see Bennett and arrest him?
Yeah, I think what we saw yesterday in that whole press conference was
Bennett is 6'4", 274 pounds. That's
right,
why.
and black,
right? Yeah, I mean, these cops. The problem is these cops. It's not the body cameras. It's the cops. It's the training. They see a big black guy, 6'4", 274 pounds, and they zero in on him.
No, but the reason it ticks me off with the body camera is that, again, the purpose of the camera is to record what happens. So if you're the police officer and you get accused of something like this, your deal should be Play the tape.
That's why the dashboard cameras have been so valuable in so many of these cases, because that camera's just running.
But that's also why we did the story here in New Orleans when the cop turned the dash camera off to go beat a dude, and came back and turned it back on.
Or in Baltimore, we saw the same thing. They were planting drugs.
Yeah. Say it again.
Those cameras should not be able to be manipulated by the officers.
There you go.
That's the first thing. Now, the second thing, that under sheriff, whatever his name was, the statement that he made at that press conference was totally out of bounds.
Which one?
The one where he said, I've looked at this investigation and I've determined that there is no wrongdoing. No.
First of all, how do you announce an investigation but have already determined?
But that's the point that I'm making. What he just did is he poisoned the well of the investigation. He should not have made that statement. He should have gone out there and basically just gave the facts,
this investigation.
Said, we're going to let this investigation go forward, and we will make our determinations after we have all the facts.
But Eugene,
but he didn't do that.
Eugene, you know what happens? Every time this happens, the cops, they come out and they want to exonerate themselves first, then go, oh, my bad. I'm
messed up, you know, but they want to do it after the fact and then cover a night. I think going forward, first and foremost, any officer that turns off his body camera, operates without body camera being on, it should be all first offense, automatic suspension, second offense, automatic firing.
That'll go along with.
Secondly,
suspension, no money.
Secondly, and a majority of these cities, the city councils are primarily African American. We have to hold our elected officials feet to the fire in these upcoming elections to actually put these laws on the books.
Large urban cities. You ain't got majority black people.
Well, not Las Vegas.
What's next? What's next?
We're continuing to call for the release of all the video, the names of the officers. We feel like this is a matter of, first and foremost, transparency. We need to have all the information, to really know what happens. Again, you know, the police are, like you said, poisoning the well. They're saying that nothing happened at the same time. When you're asking questions like, well, so many people were running. How was he only get stopped? They don't know the answers to that.
Guys, put the Colin Kaepernick tweet back up, please. I want to read this here. Colin Kaepernick did release a tweet on this. He said, this violation that happened against my brother Michael Bennett is disgusting and unjust. I stand with Michael and I stand with the people. And again, for all the people out there, all the haters out there, Jason Whitlock, and the others out there who have been highly critical of Colin Kaepernick, this is precisely what he was protesting.
But we don't know. But we don't know if, in fact, these police officers did.
No.
Hold on.
Follow me here. No, 1 second. One second. Let me finish my point. Colin Kaepernick was protesting the numerous examples of not just police brutality, but excessive force and how black folks are treated. And you have an athlete here who is saying that I was particularly targeted. You have nothing where it says there was a gun on him, nothing where it says that he was involved in this, and then the question is why he was targeted. But again, this is what Kaepernick was protesting. That's my point. This is what they were protesting, and that's why it mattered.
Yeah, I mean, if folks should look at the case of Tashi Brown in Las Vegas in Nevada. Earlier this year, he was murdered in a similar case just like this. This is how close Michael Bennett came to losing his life. And I think we can't ignore even these types of evidence. It's clear, you know, he tweeted a picture with the officer clearly pointing the gun at the back of his head, totally uncalled for. You know, there should be accountability and discipline.
Yeah, what happens all of a sudden, something happens, oh, I slip and a gun goes off. Ask Aiyana Jones, that young black girl in Detroit, when they came into the apartment, the cop says, oh, my gun malfunctioned, she's dead, and he was never prosecuted. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.